what's going on, y'all? This is a very unfortunate post on the website. This is probably the most painful post that I've had to read. I say one of the most painful. Because it's coming from a daughter. A daughter who is witnessing how her father is treating her mother and her like crap. It goes like this. I'm not a wife, but a daughter of an OTR trucker in which I graduate from high school in May of 2017, then off to college to major in psychology. That may be someday I will be able to analyze my dad, but sadly he may be beyond help. First paragraph. You can feel the pain. Right now I'm on winter break and I wanted to do this post in my spare time. I browsed through this site and never thought that I would be doing this post, and I am hoping that someone reading this can offer some insight on how to handle this situation till my mom and I move out of state away from a Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde father and husband. I can't believe we lost a once loving husband and father due to OTR trucking. His behavior and actions have my mom and I feeling out of balance and do not know whether we are coming or going. And I don't know if my dad is aware of his crazy behavior, and it seems he can do no wrong. According to him, everybody else is wrong, but never him. Well, my dad now has been doing this OTR thing for 5.5 years. When I was 11.5 years old and he got into this when he lost his two jobs that moved to Mexico, and a neighbor suggested OTR, telling him this is one way of your company not moving. Before my dad started OTR, I remember my dad a very loving and attentive husband and father. Even when my dad first started OTR, after 3 years, he was fine and unchanged. But these last few years, he started to be a Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde. And my mom and I was very loving and supportive to him when he would be home for home time. But now that has come to an end. As I said, it is his behavior and actions that have both my mom and I wondering what could be going on, since my dad is now emotionally distant and abusive emotionally, not physically, and he does not want to talk things over and does the silent treatment, and then a month later he'll talk to us like nothing happened. Some of his behaviors and actions without provocation from anyone are out of the blue. He will start verbal fights with my mom, nitpicks at everything, temper tantrums, cursing, banging things, throwing things, cursing at my friends. He calls one a lazy, fat effing cunt, and he threatens to slap the crap out of her, and he even told her he would slap the crap out of her. My mom was at work when he cursed and threatened my friend, yelling at me and my mom. My mom tells him he will respect us, in which he ignores her request. When my mom tells him to apologize, he says forget about it, let it go. You ask him what is bothering him, he says nothing. You ask him what is bothering him, he says nothing. You tell him we have problems. He says, no, we don't. I was going to cook him breakfast. On his birthday, I don't know what, some kind of way I got a word missing. I don't know what it's supposed to be. On his birthday or on Father's Day or something. I was going to cook him breakfast, but he snuck out in the middle of the night without telling us or giving us a hug or a kiss, and he did not spend his day with me. So when I called him on my cell phone to ask him why he left, and I wished him a happy Father's Day or birthday. Anyway, he never thanked me. Asked where he was since his truck was going out of the driveway. I got an answer. It was none of my business. All I need to know is he is OTR. So I threw his cards away in the trash. I was hurt. He's a slob. He leaves his plates on the dining room table and expects us to clean up for him. Drops food and does not pick up the food. The 5 days he was home, he got a shower only one time, and that was the day he left to go out over the road. And when we told him to get a shower, he told us don't tell him what to do. He stunk. Now for the first 3.5 years he was OTR, it was great with my dad, and he did say when he came home for home time it felt great to be off the road and spend time with his family. That means so much to him. Well, that was before my dad got involved with a handful of other truckers that he has in his phone contacts. All I can say is I guess he got in with the wrong bunch, in which he may be getting influenced or controlled by these questionable truckers. Or if he has a woman or women on the side we don't know about. But whatever is affecting my dad, he sure is acting like he has checked out on his family and no longer wants to be a family man. And I think he just came home to get out of the truck for a while. He seems to be very unhappy with us, and he gives me the impression of being torn between us and whoever or whatever out there that might be making him happier. Trucking does change a person. I remember reading about a wife posting on here that her trucker husband abandoned his wife and dog 1,400 miles from home. That means he put them out of the truck and kicked them out. Who knows, this guy may be one of my dad's undesirable trucker friends. My dad may not be at my high school graduation due to his ODR, but I know my mom will be there, and that's all I need because my mom has always been there for me. So again, I hope someone can give me some ideas on what is going on since my dad refuses to discuss anything with my mom and I, since my dad seems to be emotionally distant. I can share these ideas with my mom, who works very hard for her and I. Thank you. Sad, man. Very sad. Very sad. And I wanted to read that because I guarantee you somebody out there might be living out this particular behavior and not realizing how serious this behavior is. Because not all guys that's putting the families through that are involved with someone, but some of you are. And then some of you are on drugs or alcohol that's got you acting like that. And it could be complex. It could be simple, but it could be complex. You hate your job. You might hate your job. You might not be able to go to another job. Like the 3 years, maybe the guy got some tickets, so he can't go to a better job. He's stuck at the one that he's at, and he can't stand it no more. Now, because he's unsatisfied with himself, maybe he started using drugs or started drinking, and that's only going to make him feel more insecure. So he's not the family man. No, he'd rather be alone. You see what I'm saying? So this is a possibility. Obviously, he could also be involved somewhere else. That's a possibility. So you got all these possibilities. But again, guys, that's why I go back to the personal development thing. And that's why when it comes to relationships, I say over and over and over that you need to be proactive in nurturing these relationships. But this guy was doing that at first. So it's probably one of the other things more connected to personal development. Whereas, so we're talking about choices. Obviously, I don't know what's going on with this guy, but when you think about it, step back, look at the bigger picture. Like I said, suppose during those first 3 years, he got several tickets. You know what I'm saying? So now he's got limited options on where he can go. Suppose things changed at the company, and now he's getting, because they don't care if he leave, if he's keep getting logbook violations or tickets, they're going to give him the worst runs, because the new guys that come on, or the better drivers, are going to get the best stuff. So my point to you is, there's several points. First of all, I want you to see the pain that this family is going through. You got a daughter, man. You got your blood, flesh and blood. Your daughter feels this way about you. So that's a terrible thing. The rest of your life, we don't know. My point is, you are potentially ruining that whole aspect of your life for what? What's going on? So, I'm just putting this out there, food for thought, something to think about, and try not to end up in that predicament. Don't end up in that predicament. That's the reason for me putting it out there, y'all. So that's it. The video is way long enough. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.